style is good, but mine is better. And you go there and you test their style. And that was my way of recruiting.
Our crew was called Rock City Rockers, man, from the 173rd Street area. We were battling, we would do it for fun, because there were really nobody in our area that we, you know what I mean, that were really involved until we met up with a guy called Crazy Legs. I was like, oh man, yeah, I want to adapt that style, man. That's why my name is Little Crazy Legs.
That's basically how I met everyone else that ended up being in Rocksteady. You know, I met up with Frosty Freeze. He knew people. Take One knew people. Ken Swift, Mr. Wiggles. Then you had my peeps from Crotona, Toxic, A1. We just had like 500 members of Rocksteady.
Well, that was good. Johnny J is my name. Yeah. Okay. Frosty Freeze, please.
Ripski, please.
Dualism.
Crazy Legs.
Lenny.
Never gonna skin. Can again.
Rosky.
Mr. Freeze. Top block can't be stopped.
One of the first times I met Rocksteady and we did something together, Henry Chalfant, legendary graffiti photographer, documentarian, got together with the Rocksteady crew, because so many graffiti artists used to come to Henry's studio to look at his photos of the trains, that he began to realize that a lot of these guys were also breakdancers. Hence, they were the Rocksteady crew. Henry knew me, he knew a bunch of other heads, and he said, listen, I wanted to have put together like a show. And they projected the slides up of the graffiti while a Rocksteady crew danced, and I rapped, and the DJ was cutting it up. And that was reviewed in the Village Voice. The Village Voice wrote a big article on that. And from then, like, it seemed like it was on.
We started doing that. Henry Chalfant put us on. What we were doing is we were breaking up Rocksteady crew into two groups. It was Rocksteady and Breakmasters for shows. Just battle each other, but it got to a point where like, yo, you know, forget this, you know, let's make it interesting. And we were hooked up with a show at Lincoln Center. Henry Chalfant again hooked us up with that show. And it was like, yo, let's see, you know, let's battle dynamic in a neutral ground now in Lincoln Center, Manhattan, boom. And that event was covered by National Geographic. It was came out in the front page of Metro section in the New York Times. It was also in 2020.
And they showed it on Channel 7, ABC News. I just remember seeing Legs on the news, and I was like, oh, dip, you know, like that's Legs.
And at the end of the battle, they were like, who won the battle? All you heard was Rocksteady, Rocksteady, like in the middle of Lincoln Center.
One day I was watching TV and I saw Rocksteady on TV, and I was like, whoa. They can do it, we can do it. So I got a group back together. I went and recruited Chino, and we started from there.
To make a long story short, we met Michael Holman, who was some type of manager to Rocksteady, and in 1982, they offered us a battle.
I had a nightclub called The Grill, the first hip-hop club in downtown New York. And I invited down Rocksteady crew to perform every Thursday night. And believe me, everybody was there. Rene Ricard, Francesco Clemente, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Keith Haring. And so here's where Negril comes into exposing hip-hop to the rest of the world. Because New York is a media capital. Every important magazine, every important newspaper has representation in New York City.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My man. Baby, yeah.
after a while, I started getting a little bit bored with just Rocksteady crew doing a dance performance. And I said, Legs, you know, what's up with this battles I keep hearing about? I didn't really know. And after a couple of weeks, he found a crew called Floor Masters.
Well, actually, they needed a crew to battle so they can look good on film. And they wanted a crew that wasn't as good as them so they could look real good on films. And what they didn't know is that the Floor Masters were real good.
You can't get fresher than this. That was fresh. You want a fresh style, let me show you. You can't get fresher than this. That was fresh. You want a fresh style, let me show you. You can't get fresher than this. That was fresh. You want a fresh style, let me show you. You can't get fresher than this.
And when Floor Masters came down to perform, a light turned on in my head. Because what I saw was breakers who may not have been as good as Rocksteady crew in the finesse and style end of breaking. What they lacked in that, they more than made up for in the athleticism of breaking. They spun longer, faster, and harder. And I thought, that's what I want to do. I want a crew that's an athletic-like crew. That's the crew that would eventually find its way into the Olympics.
Michael Holman saw something that he felt like, wow, this is a real good thing. And, you know, they changed the name from Floor Masters to New York City Breakers. A lot of people think that if you're from New York and you're from the Bronx, that you know good. But we're from the Bronx, and we out here to show everybody that we're good. That the Bronx doesn't just got bums and ghettos, but it got something good too. Because we're the freshest kids out here.
I had embarked with Charlie Ahern to make the first hip-hop movie, Wild Style. My main intent with Wild Style was to show that breakdancing, graffiti, and rap were one. It was connected. Nobody has seen these forms as being a part of each other. I sought to make this film to bring all these forms together in one format so people could see like how they interrelated.
Wild Style, that was the one movie that captured more of the true essence of hip-hop.
Around that time, we was just doing it just to have fun and gain recognition. We didn't never think it would turn out to be famous or, you know, take it worldwide.
This park right here, we basically named it Rocksteady Park because it was a central meeting place for all the chapters of Rocksteady in the early 80s.
We used to come around here and just act up, you know, and we kind of like shared the park with everybody. Everybody knew each other.
Yeah, Rocksteady on one side of the park, then you had all the drug dealers on this side, like people selling mescaline, loose joints. It's a carpet store now, but that's where we used to get our cardboard and bring it to the back. Prior to that, it was just basically roughing it up, concrete style, just doing our thing. And, you know, spray chip bruises, cutting up the bag, getting all the, what we call B-boy burns on the shoulders and things like that. So many things have gone down here. I mean, you've had, like, the Buffalo Gals video was filmed here.
Buffalo gals go around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. For Buffalo gals go around the outside and do your partner.
Lady that was our manager at the time, Cool Lady Blue, told us that these people saw the show and they want us in the movie Flashdance. And that was it right there.
But do you remember what we said?
What did we say?
When she said, I'd like you to be in a movie, we were all like, no, we don't want to do a movie like that. Then everyone's going to start doing our moves, or the way we thought back then was biting. They were going to bite. And I remember like it was yesterday, it was in a dance studio. We did not want to do it. And then she said, you'll get paid. The pay is $1,038. And we were like, okay.
Jennifer Beals didn't really talk to us there. But after the premiere on Broadway in New York, when they saw the response, the public and the press on how crazy they went when the world first saw B-Boying was through us. I mean, during the scene, the actual scene, people were going out of their minds besides chills going through our bodies. We couldn't believe it. We were like, holy shit, we're on this screen. When we came out, the press was all over us. All of a sudden, Jennifer Beals is like, hey, hi. You know what, got in the middle with us with pictures, and we were like, yeah, exactly. We were like, whatever, get in the pictures. So, she took pictures with us, and that's when it kind of escalated for us.
Breaking hit the West Coast with a fury in '82.
When it came out here, it originated really from Flashdance. When that came out, it just spread it. Right from that little scene, just that one scene. And everyone started doing it.
Maybe 13, 14 years old, I picked up on it quick, like everyone else. They saw it for the first time, and people just knew it was part of them. So, I found a couple of other brothers that felt the same way. Started up a crew called Shake City Rockers, which were influenced by New York style breakers, and we were more like into the air moves, you know what I'm saying?
I used to look up to the guys out here in the West Coast, I used to look up to the Shake City Rockers, Pony Express. I wanted to learn it so bad, and they used to just make fun of me back then, because I was like, I was so small that they wouldn't even pay attention to me. And then when I saw New York City Breakers, it was like, oh shit.
There was a lot of breakers everywhere, and we had this youth center called the Radiotron. A lot of the roughest kids from Los Angeles were kicking back at that center.
And everyone would know the Radiotron, everyone would know Caesar, Max was big, Orko was very big. Like, everyone would be here. I mean, you would see everyone from everywhere. LA was behind New York terribly at the beginning. What it was we were just finding spinning moves, and that's what we adopted, because that's what we saw. New York had so much style, but their spinning wasn't up to par as far as LA. LA started just rising.
I mean, I'm proud to say I'm from the West Coast. We're proud of our West Coast roots. We're proud of popping and locking.
Los Angeles was a real hotbed for new dance and new hot things going on.
Locking is the very first professional street dance. Locking was created by Don Camelot Campbell sometime in the late 60s. He was trying to learn how to do the funky chicken. He was like a real wallflower, right? He couldn't do it. And he stumbled onto this style of locking. I didn't meet Don until 69. I snuck away from an all-night prayer meeting. Went to this club called Mavericks Flats. And I looked, so across the dance floor, this guy doing something that was just awesome. I'd never seen anything like this in my life. What is this?
Locking comes from that's locking. This is Uncle Sam Point. Everything in locking has a name. Knee drops, Uncle Sam points, locking, wrist rolls, playing with the hat, all of that has a name.
Locking was a lifestyle. You wore a certain type of clothes. You walked a certain way. You didn't look in locking. You looked, or you didn't point in locking. You
I'll start off locking. I was watching Rerun, Michael Jackson when he was doing the robot, the Jackson 5. I was watching Jeffrey Daniels, Papa Lone Kid on Soul Train, and I started trying it. You know what I'm saying? I just started jumping off chairs, trying to do the dive.
The popping movement was a combination of locking and the robot.
Breaking came from the East, but popping came from South Central to West.
Talking to Pete, who was the first one to start hitting or popping, the actual pop part of it was Fresno, California.
Popping is really, really minute. It's like this. Bam. See, that's.
Popping is like, this is popping. This is popping, so you know. This is popping.
Strutting is continuous movement in the same direction. And then it's ticking. And then hitting is this.
When I hit, it reminds me of like a gangster perspective from where I come from. So when I'm hitting like I'm getting ready to fire on you. You know what I'm saying? My hits come from the hood, you know? It didn't come from me, it came from the hood because I had that gangster vibe, you know? Real niggas wanted to see real niggas hit.
Popping and boogaloo, two different styles. Boogaloo was like really loose.
So if I'm popping here, then I'm hitting, I can hit, and then I can boogaloo at the same time and move, you know what I'm saying? So boogalooing is like, you moving the body, you turning, your head going, your body going another way.
Pete told me that his influences in that, besides seeing his brother, was from San Francisco. There was a group called Demons of the Mind, Close Encounters of the Funkiest Kind. Two different groups, and they used to perform at the San Francisco Pier.
We didn't realize till later on that yes, we were a part of the whole hip hop culture.
The cultures blended a long time ago.
The brothers that represented the most in New York always had respect for the West Coast, always. We were obviously inspired by the styles from over there.
I mean, we were really far apart, man. And to have both of these dancers come from two distant places like that, and then come together, man, that was like, man, incredible.
This is called breakdancing, or breaking. Like rapping, it's a competitive display of style. Dance as a form of ritual warfare.
After the initial splash of breakdancing, it became a phenomenon. And it was all about breakdancing, at least as far as the media was concerned.
As soon as the man with the money said, hey, we can make money off of this here, that's when it blew up. That's when it really blew up.
When they came out with those books, place your right foot perpendicular to your left ankle.
This guy was selling cardboard. He had a company making cardboard boxes that you carry with you and open up that says the Oz Rock.
When you got on the train, there would be kids breaking. When you went to the city, it'd be just people breaking. It was all over the place.
Guys falling out of the closets, coming from the cars, looking around. I mean, hanging from the ceiling, popping in. I mean, it was everywhere. I was like, damn, oh, damn.
That's when the Olympics came. What, 4 billion people saw the Olympics?
We are the pioneers of taking breakdancing mainstream.
Ladies and gentlemen, homeboys, homegirls, the New York City Breaker.
We, the New York City Breakers, we certainly commercialized it more than any other crew did. We got it onto big shows and in advertisements.
Probably culminating with this big television show that Ronald Reagan was at. It was some big presidential performance, and they had breakdancers perform on national TV, and it was like, what is going on?
And breakdancing just spread so wide. I mean, they had cardboards on every street corner. It was like, I think it even hit more bigger than it hit in New York. And it went in every mall. Malls had to close down sometimes. They had things where kids were doing windmills, falling downstairs and getting up and hitting customers when they were shopping. It was so packed that the police would go undercover and wear undercover uniforms and just arrest kids for breakdancing.
The media just fed into it and grabbed whatever breaker they can get. They were like, well, hey, if you can just do anything, we'll take you.
Make the selection different. This year, vote for Brent and make it count more and more and more and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not to be believed. You're Ken Swift, right?
Yeah.
Rocksteady, traveled all over the world, and then next you know, boom, B Street came out.
Yo, what's up? Yo, man, yo biters. All your homeboys are biters. Yo, Wax, so what's up with that? Yo, what are you talking about, man? I never stole no moves from you. All your moves ain't worth it a bit. So what's up with that, Pong? Pong, who you calling Pong?
And boom, Rocksteady, New York City Breakers, and Mad Force chilling in Conference. We was bugging. We were like the young kids of the 80s, you know what I mean? The exploitation era, but it took us all over the world. We were bumping into each other cross-continent, you know what I'm saying? And we thought we were rich and shit.
Crazy Legs and those guys were managed by a chick named Lady Blue. She had engineered them to make a record that became a #1 hit in London. Hey You, the Rocksteady Crew. It was not a B-boy record. It was a pop record, but it was a #1 song. And I don't think the Rocksteady Crew ever really loved the record because they were like, you know, this ain't about B-boying, but it was about putting some money in their pockets for a minute.
I started breakdancing with my friend Donovan and Mike, and we actually had a lot of those black people and Samoans, and we used to all